You are not going to believe what caused our rig to break. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to One Strange Adventure. Welcome to the next video. And in today's video, we are getting to travel in our rig for the first time in over a month. Right, so we got the rig repaired. All the things are fixed. We drove, well, yes, we hope. We drove it from Grand Design to the Thousand Trails campground here in Elkhart. It's called, or it's not in Elkhart, it's in Howell, Indiana. They call it Twin Mills, and so that's what, like 7.5 miles, maybe 10 miles. Like, it's not very long. So this is our first actual travel day. Yep. With it. So we're going to be making our way from Indiana. We're going to stop by Future Solutions. If you've never heard of them, great company that installs batteries and solar and all that other good stuff in rigs, and does some OEM stuff. Like, they are pretty awesome. Yeah, they do a lot. Yeah, we've been following them for a long time, so we're going to get a chance to actually stop by and tour their facility. Then we're making our way to Virginia. And I think in today's video, what we're going to do is we're going to go over the list of items that they fixed in the rig. Yes. And let you guys know exactly what happened and how they fixed it. Yeah, and we'll sit down and go through all of that. But today's travel day, so all of that stuff is put away. But we'll do that in a little bit. But first time in the rig, back in the rig. Yeah. So happy. So happy. We got everything moved in thanks to the Kreps for helping, and they helped us out by coming here so that they could help us move everything from the other rig into this one. So huge thank you to those guys for helping us out. It made the transition a whole lot smoother. Oh yeah, way faster. Putting things away because, you know, the girls have already been in our rig a bunch of times, so they just knew where things went. So, so we're gonna finish packing up, get going, travel day, and then we'll start talking about what's going on with the rig, or what's going on with the rig. Yep, only thing that's really left is to sweep under the slides and bring them in, put the dog's stuff on them. Other than that, we're ready to roll. All right, let's go.
Are you ready for travel day? Are you ready for travel day? Say hi to everybody. Yeah.
Beautiful morning here in the north. We are headed to Virginia today. We stopped in Ohio, and Ohio has kind of unique service plazas in the sense that they have RV parking. And so it says 40-foot maximum length on there. We're right at 42, 43. So, but the sites are like 3 times as wide as the RV. So I was actually able to caddy corner it in the site and still park the truck in it, and it's $20 a night. So, and they have an RV dump station, no potable water, at this one at least. And the pedestals have 30 amp and 50 amp. I don't know if that's true for all of them, but this one did. And so, you can see here, it was a great sleep. Plus, when you wake up in the morning, you can go straight across the street, and you get Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks. Now, not all of them have the camping spots, so just be sure to check and make sure. If you're planning on going on the Ohio Turnpike across the state from Pennsylvania to Indiana or Indiana to Pennsylvania, check it out, because it is a great alternative to a harvest host. One thing I forgot to mention, when you get here, you will have to pay. There's this little kiosk right here. You pay $20, you get your ticket, you put your ticket on the dash. However, it is $20 cash. You have to have the exact change, $20 bill. So if you're planning on stopping here, make sure you have a 20 with you, or I don't know, but there could be ATM in there if I would imagine there's probably an ATM in the stop, but yep, just make sure you have 20 with you.
All right, so this week we are at Harborview Thousand Trails. That is in Virginia, in the Colonial Beach area.
Yep, staying in the Thousand Trails network as much as we can, anyways.
We wanted to let you know, one of the best reasons why we joined the membership is because we get to meet families all across the nation.
Yes, a couple weeks ago was the Inquis, then the Creps, and this week
we get to meet David and Tanya. Let's go meet them.
All right, like we said, we ran into the Mullins family.
Yes.
So how's it going, guys?
Hey, good to see y'all.
Quick introduction of yourselves.
I'm David.
I'm Tanya.
And our channel is rvfamily.life.
That's Kieran.
Yeah,
Y'all want to come get in it?
No.
No.
we've lived in our RV for 2 years now, been traveling around, and we've been in the Thousand Trails system for about maybe 7-8 months now.
Yeah, very cool. It's always good to run into you guys.
Yeah.
We get to see them all over the country.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, and if you haven't already, go check out their channel on YouTube, rvfamily.life. Okay, so the moment you've all been waiting for.
As promised, we're going through our service work.
We got service work orders. We just make it rain, service work orders. There's a lot of pages here. So
yes, but some of the pages are not like all the way filled out. So
page 1 of 11 on the first pamphlet.
And we have 3. So
Yeah, there's that much going on. All right, so the first one was upper deck flex, and that is the frame flex that they had to fix.
yes, and so when they came out to Pensacola to weld the frame, the hitch back up to the frame, they said that we'd have to bring it in. So that's what we did. So it says upper deck flex is our complaint.
Yeah, there was broken welds.
Yeah.
So that's the cause. There's welds broken under there. Removed all attachment, removed slide outs from the openings, removed broken sill plates, grinded down all the areas that need to be welded, welded it all back, put gussets in place, put all the insulation back. Here's an interesting thing. They re-secured the floor. So they actually laid more like cross members
In the floor.
in the floor itself. So the first thing we noticed when we walked in was how solid the floor is up in the nose. It had not been like that before.
Right, so we removed everything that we could out of there. They actually removed the beds.
They moved everything.
Like everything. Cabinetry, beds, slides, anything and everything that's up there got removed.
They took an inch and a half of our space in the room, like because the wall is thicker now from the extra bracing.
The nose. So in our work order, it actually says that they had to refabricate the fabricated bed.
Yeah, they had to rebuild my custom bed and cut it and made it an inch and a half shorter.
Yes.
So.
Which actually they did a really good job with. I was really surprised.
Yep. They did a safety function test, so I assume this is standard when your rig goes in.
Yeah.
So, results, perform safety function test, all good. Garage floor in front of the patio door floor bows down, inspect and advise. So, this is like the kitchen area.
Yes.
It just started like slumping down.
Yeah. So they said normally you see crowning, which is where the walls start pushing in and it starts doing this. Ours was doing this.
Right.
Instead. And so you could feel it a little bit. It wasn't terrible, but it was noticeable.
Yep.
But this is the interesting part.
Customer modified floor, added a subfloor in planks, no action taken.
We'll get back to that in a minute.
Yeah, that's not right. But we worked through it.
We did.
To their credit, we found the problem, but that was what we got to begin with.
Yep, that was our initial response.
Yes. All right, next one. Inspect the hangers, wet bolts, and suspension because customer has had 2 cracked equalizers. If you remember that video of me trying to fix that in Pensacola when it was 119 degrees, that was a frustrating time in my RV life career. All right, they inspected all rear chassis and bolts, didn't find anything.
Out of normal.
Yeah, they didn't find anything out of the norm. The hangers, everything. Next thing, ODS main slide in wall is separating from the floor.
Yes, and so that was something we added because when you take your rig to Grand Design, they ask you if there's anything else that you want them to look at. And so originally when our weld on our slide broke, it made the floor separate right there in the corner from where the slide was messing up last January.
Yep.
And so we have never fixed that. we didn't really know how to fix that without taking everything apart. So we asked them to look at it.
Yep. And they resecured it and put new trim in it.
It says 4 pieces of trim.
Resecured 4 pieces of trim. Well, the floor to the wall was the first part, and then they put the trim on it.
Yeah.
So now there's no gap when we pull the slide in and out. That's where you could see the problem, is when you were pulling the slide in and the wall just goes like this and then comes back together. That's a problem.
It's a problem. So just pay attention when you're moving your things in and out. Pay attention to if it changes. That's how we knew that something was wrong with that slide, because it did that before it even started making noise.
Yep. Here's another one we added. Inspect exterior speakers for proper functioning. So we have 2 speakers on the side patio, and for whatever reason, since we've gotten this rig, when you turn them on, when you turn the stereo system on, there's just a loud hum over there, and it's so annoying if you're in the garage, and that's where our bedroom's at.
And you can't really even turn it off. Usually you can separate like the bedroom from the living area or whatever, but for some reason, doesn't matter what you do, the hum stays.
And then it pops when you turn the system off.
Yeah.
So we knew that wasn't right. So correction, check the entire audio system, rear out door patio speakers hums with no sound, only one works, switch speakers and no sound. Pulled the head unit, checked the wiring. At the amps, the garage and living room work as it should. Order and replace the amps and speakers when installing. Checked audio cables, found several RCA patch cords plugged into the wrong side channels. Corrected issues, checked all up, and tested was good. So
we should be good.
They did a lot to the stereo. Page number 8. Replace the cracked glide pad on the pin box. We've got some more. We can't help but laugh now. All right. So they looked at our pin box. They saw that there was something cracked in it, so they went ahead and replaced it.
Which I assume the crack came from the flexing of the nose,
right,
because
which is awesome.
We actually already had that pin box slider replaced last August. When Moride came to us at the rally, they realized that it was something wrong with it. Yep. So they replaced it at the rally last August, and then now something else.
Spoiler alert!
Spoiler alert!
It messed up again, and so we've had to fix it, and that will be in a video in the not so distant future.
Yes, because
we'll show you. I had to disassemble the entire
hitch.
Or I'm sorry, kingpin. All right, rebuild and modify the bed's base in the upstairs bedroom.
We already talked.
That's our custom bed that we made. If you've ever seen it, we have one that goes against the wall and one across the nose for the kids. Now that one of the kids moved out, is in college, we have taken that bed out.
Page 10.
Page 10. Replace the regulator. Replace the with new changed over customer hose and adapters and gauge ran test good. So evidently maybe they found some type of propane leak, which is great that they checked for that. Thank you. And then finally on this work order, replace the DS rear clearance lights. Removed and replaced lights and tested.
Tested good.
Yep.
Yeah, and we didn't even know that was something that was wrong.
Nope.
So that's one of the huge benefits of going to Grand Design. They find things you don't even know about to fix, and it's fabulous.
And then you get an 11-page service
so every
work order.
single thing that they do is on its own page.
So 10 things in that work order.
All right, so second work order. It says, inspect cross members well throughout frame.
Yep. So this is going back to where we said that the floor was sagging.
Yep.
And we told you we'd get back to that. Well, when they told us that there was a subfloor in there, we had to tell them that there isn't a subfloor. It is just flooring laid on the garage floor. We did not add a subfloor.
But I understand where they thought it was, because if you come in from the garage,
look at the dovetail.
The dovetail, we built that section up, and so they thought that was like the whole way through.
But no, the dovetail is literally a wedge, and then that floor covers from that, transitions over the garage floor.
Right.
They did say, do you want us to remove the flooring? We will not replace it.
But they can tear it out.
They'll tear it out, but they're not going to put it back in there for you.
Right.
And that's a lot of money in flooring back there.
Yes. So I called them, and this is where communication is key, guys. You have to stay on your emails and calling, because I called them and said, what do you mean that there's subfloor? Because There's not.
There's no sub bar.
And so she went out, our person went out and got one of the main guys in the service department, and he came in and we conference called with him and chatted through it. And then when I told them what was discussed at the rally, which is where they said that they were going to measure the frame and check the cross members and everything underneath the rig, they weren't doing anything on the inside of the rig. He says, "Oh, well, that makes more sense now. Let's go do that." So that's what this work order is for. So they inspected the cross members. They found 4 broken cross members. They had to drop 18 inches of our underbelly and inspect. The inspection found the 4 broken welded. They re-welded the cross members, re-insulated the entire rear of the underbelly, and re-secured it, and then did foam seal as needed around it.
Yeah, and another cliffhanger. Wait till the end. We're going to tell you why our 4 cross members broke, or at least the reason that they give us. And it was right beside the freshwater tank, and it wasn't because we filled the freshwater tank up. So hang on, we're going to give you some more information about that, because it's going to be controversial.
It's been a fun process.
Yes.
All right, so page 2 of 4 says measuring of the frame, which is what I was just saying.
Yeah.
They measured it because of the broken cross members next to the fresh tank. So they actually called and asked us if we ever travel, or how often we travel with our fresh tank completely filled. And I told them barely any, because we don't boondock a lot.
Don't really boondock a lot.
I think we've only had it at maybe 90% capacity twice. We've never driven with it completely overflowing down the road. So they asked us that first, and then, but because that was exactly where the cross members were broken, was right at the fresh tank. Then they did the vapor door gaps on the right side. If you're looking in from the kitchen, is what we said. And so the vapor door is the living room door from the garage, the glass door that opens and closes to separate the garage from the living. It stops the fumes from coming through. You can visually see a gap on one side of it, which is another reason why we knew that our floor was sagging, because that gap was getting worse. So they actually loosened the frame and then readjusted it and put some wedges under it after they fixed the cross members. Repair the broken welds on the cross members. They did all 4 and then also repainted them, because they have to be painted with the non-rust sealant.
All right, and last but not least, work order is they did so much work to the front nose that the paint lines didn't line back up on the slide. So they had to repaint the stripes where the slide out was repositioned. And they had to fill filled and painted screw holes on the slide room. So that's everything. Like that was a full list of it, but you're not going to believe this. We went and had a meeting with the engineers, or not the engineers, but the leads in the service department facility, and we were told that our sumo springs were the cause of our cracked cross members over by the axles. So they also mentioned that there were several other rigs that they have dealt with that had broken cross members, and all of them had sumo springs installed, including some that had a wall cracked. So the reason that we were given was that the sumo springs are hitting, which they're designed to do, and they're not allowing the suspension to flex to its full capacity and absorb as much as it should be absorbing.
It's making the suspension more rigid.
Yep. So look, we removed our sumo springs. I don't agree or disagree. I don't think I have enough information to really make a decision on that.
Right.
But as influencers, we want to make sure that we tell you all what's going on with us. We have removed them for the time being, and
Yes, and I told them that I didn't believe that the sumo springs are the cause of the problem, because our floor was sagging well before we even installed sumo springs. We actually installed the sumo springs because we were seeing problems start, and we installed them to help make some of the load off of the suspension. And so they said that while it may not have caused it, it definitely did not help it. Yep. So that's why we went ahead and removed them under the advisement of the service team up there at the factory.
So moral of the story, do your research, make sure you ask a lot of questions, and make an informed decision on whether or not you want to use them on your rig.
Yes.
For the time being, we do not have them on our rig anymore. So,
and we'll see. We'll see if any other problems occur without them, because now we don't have them.
Yep. That's it for today's video. That is everything that they worked on and fixed in our rig.
Yes, I know it was a lot.
And, you know, so we will keep you informed if anything else transpires. So we have some pretty cool trips coming up pretty soon. So stick around, and we'll be in the Florida Keys very soon.
Yeah.
So can't wait for that. All right, well, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you really like it, make sure you subscribe.
And ring the bell so you get notified when we release our next video.
Until the next strange adventure.
Keep making your own.